In ancient times, China was known as the land of divine and the home of gods. In the beginning, the Creator arranged a divine being to descend to earth, bring culture and morality to human beings. The ultimate goal is to teach humans to cultivate their inner hearts, return to their original true selves, and go back to heaven. And so Chinese history began. So let's meet some of these original divine beings. First, we have the man who created the heaven and the earth. According to an ancient Chinese legend, Creator arranged the Pangu and other divine beings to create this universe in a unique dimension called the Three Realms, which was especially made for human beings. Pangu created this world by splitting over an egg he was sitting in. When he broke open the egg, the top of the egg became the sky, and the bottom became the ground. Then the goddess Nuwa created people. She did this by modeling them after herself using clay by a riverbed. The people she modeled by hand became rich and beautiful and powerful. But Nuwa found that this took too much time. She got a little lazy. So she took a vine and dipped it into the mud, and flung drops of mud in all directions. When it touched the ground, each drop of mud became a separate human being. Now, after human beings were first created, they were helplessly against Earth's natural elements. So other gods descend into the three realms one by one to help them. Ancestry people mostly eat fruit and dangerous raw meat at the time when there is no sushi restaurant. The god Sui Ren taught people to create fire using wood. It was said that one day Sui Ren traveled through a place called Sui Ming, a place of no night and day and out of the reach of the sun and moon. He rested under a tree called Sui Mu, and there flew a bird and knocked on the tree with its beak, causing sparks and eventually a fire. Sui Ren was delighted after seeing how fire was created. Sui Ren then taught all the people. But not all was well in this new world. Soon, a great flood occurred and almost destroyed the entire world. Only the people who lived on the top of the Kunlun Mountain, one of the tallest mountains in China, were able to escape the great disaster. Afterward, it was said that a god called Fuxi descended on earth, rebuilt the world, bringing back the balance of yin and yang. His famous invention is the 8 trigrams that is believed to enable human beings to communicate and understand the divine. The symbol nowadays is often associated with Taoism. With the development of this new human civilization came a growing need for food. Seeing this, the god Shen Nong came down to teach agriculture by showing people how to farm the land using new tools he created. Shen Nong also wanted to help the sick, and because he can see into his own body, Shen Nong tested hundreds of herbs on himself, while observing their effects through digestion. He recorded all these to teach humans about healthy foods, healing medicines, and dangerous poisons. What's interesting is that when Shen Nong would eat something poisonous, he would then consume some tea to detoxify himself. Shen Nong eventually became known as the king of medicine and wrote the famous book, Classic of Herbal Medicine. The traditional Chinese medicine eventually spread through the land, representing the high-level wisdom of harmony between the human body and the nature. These divine beings later were called the legendary emperors. The archaeology discoveries tell us that at the same time when the Sumer and Egypt civilization began to form about 7,000 years ago, a group of people have settled in the Yellow River Basin. At that moment, we will recognize the era as Xiao Culture, which was formed during 5,000 to 3,000 BCE. During the Xiao Culture era, people began farming rice, raising livestock, and making various daily needs from clay. Villages began to be built with small canals around them. Banpo was one of the first villages in the Yellow River Valley. Over time, other villages began to form, and almost the same time, another group of people had settled in the Yangtze River Valley and started their cultures. The cultures were He Mu Du, Da Xi, Ma Jia Bang. For approximately 2,000 years, new cultures continued to form in the valley of Yellow River and Yangtze River. At that time, each village had a leader to solve various problems that arose in social life. These early village leaders are believed to be the real-life legendary emperors or the divine beings. As our university is in Shanghai, with its main campus situated in Songjiang, you might also want to know something about Songjiang's history. Being the origin of Shanghai, Songjiang has witnessed thousands of years human activities. Recent archaeological discoveries found evidences from Neolithic era, such as potteries, tombs, wells, and the remains of walls, which confirmed 5,000 years plus of civilization fostered in Songjiang. And the most exciting part is that the site where all the ancient relics are discovered, the Guangfuling area, is just across the street of our main campus. Hope that will give you guys something to look forward to when you are physically here in Shanghai.